Manitoba. Bring your bongos, the bug spray, and your musical beat. The 27th Annual Winnipeg Folk Festival is gearing up tonight for its 4-day music marathon at Birdtail Park. Well, finishing touches were being put in place today for the premier folk festival in Canada. From now until Sunday, 90 national and international acts will perform on 7 daytime stages as well as the evening main stage. And the performers represent an eclectic group of artists from around the world. Some 30,000 people are expected to take part in this year's event. And among one of those people is our very own Lisa Best. She joins us live from Birdtail Park. Lisa, it's not often you see a 62-piece orchestra at the Folk Festival. How is the symphony's opening night at the Folk Fest?
Very different, you know, and I talked to Pierre Garand, the executive director of the Winnipeg Folk Festival, earlier in the evening. He said, you know, this is what it's all about, Nicole, taking chances, and they definitely have done that this weekend. The list I looked at, very eclectic groups of musicians from around the world, everything from Madagascar to Scotland, which is what the Folk Festival is all about, and that's what they usually do. But a lot of unknown names, too. We don't have Steve Earls and Jan Ardens here this year. We have the Winnipeg Folk Festival with people like Charles Gow and Mark O'Connor. So a different feel here tonight, a little bit more laid back than what we normally see, except for the mosquitoes, of course. But we have the whole weekend ahead of us, and, you know, it's been around for 27 years, so it's full force into the weekend, and it's going to be a good one. Hopefully the weather will hold. Don't forget your bug spray. You will definitely need it.
All right, thanks for that. That is our very own Lisa Best, and she was joining us live from the Folk Festival at the...
We are live for the last time this evening at the Winnipeg Folk Festival, the 27th annual at Birdtail Park. The WSO has just wrapped up its performance, Mark O'Connor, and everyone is filing out for the evening back to home to Winnipeg, which is only about 20 minutes away, or to their campsites. I want to remind you that it is very close to the city. If you want to come down, you can get your tickets and your festival passes at the gate. Pierre Garand, our executive director, promises a very eclectic weekend. It's going to be a very fun weekend, and hopefully we won't have any bugs or rain. So good luck, and we'll see you down here.
Lisa Best is at Birdtail Park tonight.
Yeah, she's looking for the next generation of folk festival performers. Lisa?
We're at the 27th Annual Winnipeg Folk Festival with the star du jour, the youngest performer, Sierra. How's your day going?
Good.
Yeah. So what did you get to do today?
I played my violin on stage 2.
Now, is it a violin or a fiddle at the Folk Fest?
It would be a fiddle at the Folk Fest.
Okay. Violin elsewhere?
Yes.
Okay, so now tell me about this event. What were you part of?
I was part of playing with Oliver Shore and
45 other young musicians, right?
yes.
Yeah, so it's a full day here from 11 to 5, one day only. First time the Folk Fest is ever given to the young performers with their very own stage. Now, what was it like performing here?
I wasn't nervous at all, and it was really fun.
Cool, cool. Oliver, how was she to work with?
Oh, she was nothing but trouble, but in the end, we whipped her into shape, and she was great.
Have you done something like this before with the kids?
I've done a couple of things. I did a workshop earlier this year up at Smithers, and one of the guys in the group, Scott White, was actually in that workshop. But it's a great thing, because Winnipeg Folk Festival, in fact, all the folk festivals have this huge resource of people that are here from across the planet, really, with wonderful different music to offer. And the fact that they got it organized, I think everybody who participated in it was very happy to do it. And all the performers that were doing the workshop yesterday with all the kids were saying, what a great idea. It should be at all the festivals. It's a really cutting-edge thing, and it's a way of giving back to some of the young performers. And it was great. You folks are fabulous to work with, and we all had a good time.
There you go. Kudos. It's kind of a given, it seems. After 27 years, you look forward to the next generation, even though they're already on site. You want to keep them interested.
Absolutely. And there are American performers that were saying that it's hard even for a young performer to get hired at a folk festival, let alone have something like this.
So what do you think of the Young Performers Workshop?
You know, we've sat here all day long just listening to them. We're really interested in the local area and the local groups that are coming out, and it's just fabulous. We haven't moved. We've been here for the whole day.
You think you'll be up there next year playing drums?
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for up-and-coming performers to get a chance on the stage and deal with nervousness and have their songs heard.
This is your first time to the Folk Fest, and it's because why?
Probably because our granddaughters.
Yeah, I think so. Now we're going to see you on stage next year. You're going to be getting paid for it, right? Just say yes.
I hope so.
There you go. That's it. Back to the studio.
Thanks. See you tonight.
Oh,
Being called Mudstock. Here's what he saw.
Mud, man, do it in the mud.
Oh, how you look so. Oh, how you look so. Well, who's been here since I've been gone? A little boy with a blue cap on. He on a hickory stick. Righty, tighty down my shoe. My papa's gonna slap him good. Wow! Hit in the hips.
Love it. Love it.
Disgusting. Gross.
Folk Festival kicking off at Birds Hill Park tonight with a great lineup of acts. We have those details coming up. Stay tuned. Back in 2 minutes.
Well, the main stage should be in full swing right about now as the 26th annual Winnipeg Folk Festival kicks off for another great year of international entertainment. As usual, this year's event features a bunch of new acts like this one, Fubuki Daiko, plus some more traditional folk favorites like the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. No, the symphony is actually making its debut at this year's festival. But besides tons of great music, there's also lots of camping, a variety of food vendors, and the ever-popular handmade village. So lots to do. And if you're wondering at all about some of the unlikely additions to this year's Folk Fest, organizers say it's a natural progression for the event.
For many years, what we've been doing here is sort of pushing the envelope and redefining what can be presented at something called a folk festival. This just takes it a couple of steps further and actually bridges gaps very nicely between world music and acoustic jazz music and traditional music and folk music. And so I think it's a fabulous way of doing it.
The festival runs for the next 3 days out at the park, and if you're interested in checking it out, there are day passes available. Well, there's no, but I have a feeling there's a whole lot of rolling going on tonight at the Winnipeg Folk Festival. There it is, lots of music and great times out at Birds Hill Park. A bit muddy this year, but festival goers are no strangers to the rain. So much to do and tons of great acts. Let's take a look at who's playing for the main stage for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Tonight, Folk Fest Fever.
Tonight, Folk Finale.
The Winnipeg Folk Fest wrapping up at Birds Hill Park tonight. We'll show you some highlights from tonight's show right after the break. Down at the 27th annual Winnipeg Folk Festival, Friday morning's downpour didn't drown the enthusiastic crowds or musicians. Take a look.
People, turned difficult circumstances into something that was really positive, and the audience showed up and made the most of it. The projections that we had as of late yesterday seemed to put us on track for 33,000 people.
We travel from far, far and wide, many miles. Clear as the sky is broad, my friend. And we all gather here in the center of Canada, and you know what we do? Have ourselves a good time and nobody gets hurt.
I'll never stand alone. Staring straight ahead for all eternity.
Looks like a fun weekend, another successful festival.
True Survivor, you just spend 3 days at the Winnipeg Folk Festival.
It's a jungle out there. 16 people marooned on a desert island. They could have used someone like Frank. He's been marooning himself annually at the Folk Festival for 25 years.
We've been through torrential downpours and excruciating heat and mosquitoes and like starvation and like no privy.
These folks are a hardy bunch, and unlike their Survivor counterparts, they're happy too. Through rain, shine, bugs, and mud. Lots of mud.
We're this deep in muck, you know, right there, right now.
The TV show Survivor has 2 tribes. The Folk Festival has many.
We're with the Viking tribe.
Viking tribe, and what does that entail exactly?
Well, that entails the Viking helmet that's been in circulation for at least 5 years of the Folk Festival.
Do you have a lot in your tribe, a lot of people?
Well, there's just the 3 of us now tonight.
They need people, and no one's been kicked out yet.
Can we vote teenagers off our tarp?
The food? Well, the poor souls on Survivor are existing on rats and some funky new sushi. The carnivores at the Folk Festival are gnawing on whales' tails. Over 6,000 people auditioned for Survivor. They all had their eye on the prize, $1 million. Over 30,000 folks paid to be at the Folk Festival, and what they're pocketing is priceless.
I live for this every year. I just can't wait, and when you're here, I feel like I've never left. They're living with nothing just so they can have more material things, and we're just out here to chill.
I got more than $1 million here because this is paradise, you know.
We're surviving, okay.
For Global News, I'm Lisa Best at the Winnipeg Folk Festival.
Coming up later on Global News, despite the muck, it was a near record-setting weekend for the Folk Festival.
The one's massive. Well, despite the mud and mosquitoes, the 27th annual Winnipeg Folk Festival was a huge success. Winnipeggers came out in droves to take part in the 3.5-day festival, only surpassed in attendance by its 25th anniversary celebration 2 years ago.
It looks like it's going to be just shy of 34,000 total paid attendance, which would make this the second best ever.
This weekend's festival boasted performers from North and South America and even as far away as Africa. Producer Pierre Gorin admits there were a few risks involved this year, like having the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra serve as backup band opening night.
It actually made for an unforgettable evening, both for the performers who were involved in it and for a number of people in the audience. The comments that I've heard so far are very, very positive. So it was pushing the envelope, but I think it paid off in the end.
Curtis is in.
Photojournalist John Schneider has more.
What do you get if you mix water and mud, mosquitoes, and music? Folk Fest 2000.
I think it's a Manitoba line.
Mosquitoes a big problem or not?
Well, there are a few of them out here, and they tend to be kind of frisky, but the audience doesn't seem to mind. I mean, as soon as there's a nice breeze, they're okay. But yeah, there's more than usual.
What about the rain? Is it being mud?
Well, the rain was a bit of a problem. Mind you, it came at really good intervals for us. Thursday night, we had a wonderful opening concert and managed to do it before the storm struck. There's more mud than we'd like to see. The grounds are a little bit soggy. But one of the wonderful things about the festival is how, you know, everybody turns a bad opportunity into a good one.
Despite the mud and the mosquitoes, attendance at this year's festival is in keeping with last year's crowds.
As of yesterday, we had numbers that were on track with the past couple of years, which is in and of itself surprising, but very good.
And as for the music, John Schneider, CKY5 News.
Great time every year, no matter what.
Percent of the space. Well, the annual Winnipeg Folk Festival came to a close last night. Organizers say the event was a success. About 34,000 people attended. That's the second highest attendance in the festival's 27-year history. People still came out despite the conditions at Birds Hill Park. Heavy rains soaked the festival grounds on Friday, leaving puddles of mud everywhere and wrecked shoes for those that wore them. And of course, the mosquitoes were out in full force, but the crowd was hardy enough to still enjoy the music over the 4-day festival. RCMP in nearby Oakbank say only about a dozen people were arrested for drinking-related offenses in the park.
Venu célébrer la musique du monde au parc Birds Hill. Le spectacle de Fubuki Daiko se termine avec une ovation debout. Puis la grande scène du Festival Folk fait place à une nouveauté cette année. L'Orchestre symphonique de Winnipeg accompagne les autres artistes de la soirée, comme le musicien Corky Seagull. L'Orchestre symphonique de Winnipeg démontre sa polyvalence en accompagnant le guitariste latino-américain Oscar Lopez et ses musiciens. Place à la musique traditionnelle chinoise avec le musicien George Gao. Le trio Oregon à saveur jazz présente à son tour quelques pièces musicales. Et finalement, le spectacle se termine avec le violoniste Mark O'Connor. Les groupes
What's the guy doing?